The supply chain is a wreck, while an absent secretary still cashes a check. Yep, transportation is breaking down, while Mayor Pete's nowhere to be found. It's yet another Biden administration fail, as Petey doesn't even leave an out-of-office email. Take that, Dr. Seuss! Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg defended being home on paternity leave since mid-August, while the country's been hit with a crippling supply chain crisis. What am I talking? Yep, while he bottle-fed, we bottlenecked. And while he brought home the bacon, our actual bacon doubled in price. No joke. It's so bad, Kat's had to make her own hair at home instead of buying it from school kids. Worse, Pete offered no new solutions to the crisis. He didn't bother to announce he'd be away, nor did he appoint a temp replacement. He simply transported himself home, leaving America as abandoned as Don Lemon's remaining brain cells. He treats his job like Kamala treats the border. He doesn't show up, and nothing gets done. CNN host and my nude Yahtzee partner, Jake Tapper, confronted him over this.
As a cabinet secretary, why didn't you or the Department of Transportation make an official announcement when you went on parental leave, and why did you not appoint an acting secretary while you were away?
Well, so the way this works is there is a deputy secretary, Polly Trottenberg, who's doing phenomenal work and who, as deputy secretaries do, can fill in when a secretary is not available. Now, look, even though I've been on paternity leave and I'm proud of it, obviously, given the nature of my job, when you take a job like mine, you understand and accept that you're going to have to be available 24/7.
So, yeah, no one knew he'd be gone. And he only surfaced to address his absence during a national crisis, saying it will last into next year, just like his paternity leave. Who knows, if he gets new kids every few months, he'll never come back to work. That's what I would do. But the real question is, what happens if you bail on work for 2 months and no one notices? Maybe you truly are non-essential. I wonder if his coworkers ever figured out he was missing.
Supply chain's been backed up for months. We've got Black Friday right around the corner. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Honestly, I'm out of ideas. The only thing I can think of is to ask Secretary Pete. He's got some unbelievable ideas.
I know, his calm demeanor really puts me at ease. I'm so glad Biden picked him.
Yeah. Joey, you're a dad. How do you feel about 2 months leave for a guy? I mean, he's got a high-level job. He's allowed to do it. But doesn't that... He's doing the correct thing, but it makes him kind of a lousy leader.
You know, I've sat and watched a lot of my buddies FaceTime their newborn children because they were out, I don't know, fighting a war.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Pete served in a different military than I did. I mean, he did run for president, didn't have the dignity of at least being a wounded veteran. I mean, so I don't know if he just doesn't get it, but there are millions of Americans that don't have the luxury of taking 2 months off. Let me explain something to you. A woman, a mother, and I'm proud to say that word, makes a human body with her own body and births that body. You know, she might need a couple weeks to, I don't know, heal,
Right.
recover. Maternity leave makes a lot of sense. Paternity leave, being the father in this situation, which I've done twice now, I'm very proud of, pretty good at it. made some awesome humans there. Listen, we serve a different role. We're not healing on maternity leave. We are getting to know our child. And when he said, and if you finish that line of the quote you just played, he talks about, just because, I know the nature of this job, so even if that means checking an email during a doctor's appointment. Bro, I wish working meant checking an email during a doctor's appointment. I'd still be employed by the Marine Corps. Like, I mean, are you serious? That's what you think going to work is?
Yeah.
And like you said, the biggest cell phone is, if he had been to work every day, we'd probably be right where we are right now.
Yeah. Kat, no one knew he was gone.
Yeah.
That's wouldn't that hurt your feelings if you were gone from the show for 2 months and no one knew?
Yeah, I'd be devastated.
We should try that.
No, that's not.
You love this story, though.
Yes, I do, because I want to be careful here, because paternity leave, I'm a huge fan of paternity leave. And if my husband and I ever have kids, I'm going to need him to have a very long paternity leave. And if he doesn't, we're going to have to switch. I will do the paternity leave. He can do the maternity leave. Because honestly, babies are like not that good of a hang, right?
Right.
Everyone says it'll be different if it's your own, but I'm like, yeah, I know. I will have to take care of it. That's how it's different. So hopefully by then, I will have an assistant that can devote their entire workday to delivering breast milk from the office to my apartment. And if I can just be a great dad.
You'll be a great father.
I think I will.
I think he's right to take it off, but that makes him. It's like when he ran for president while being South Bend, Indiana mayor. He was a terrible mayor, but he thought he would run for president. Maybe that's smart, but it makes him a lousy leader.
Well, so he got the job as Secretary of Transportation, and his nickname was Pothole Pete.
Yeah.
So he had that. He knew that he could pretty much get away with anything. And I think Pete has some stones to take.
Yes.
He took a big job and literally said, okay, I'm out of here for a few months now because I adopted some kids.
You know what's
or he had some kids. So and he actually is on Biden's policy of giving leave to everybody in the country because no business, small business, is going to get on board with you hire somebody and then they leave.
No way.
Baby.
2 months.
Yeah.
I respect him, Jimmy. This is amazing. To take off 2 months on a job you just started?
Yo, it pisses me off so much because I was a cab driver.
Right.
When my wife had the baby, I was back to work the minute Maury Povich said it was mine. Okay. All right. I guess we're going in. I guess we're heading to LaGuardia. But no, shame on him. Mayor Pete shouldn't be running a 5K, let alone the transportation department. And this is where identity politics fails the whole country.
Right.
If you appoint people because of their bio instead of their actual resume, you get people that are in over their head. I would go out on a limb and say there's probably 5 million gay Americans that could fill this role better than Mayor Pete. But they didn't need 5 million, they needed one guy who would drop out and endorse Biden, so that's where we got. But Pete Buttigieg running transportation is like Hunter running the DEA. You know what I mean? It's kind of a conflict of interest, given his background.
On the DEA.
That would be awesome.
Just say yes!
So much easier.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.